All right, Tony, teach me how to make a pizza.
Well, welcome to making pizza at home. My name is Tony Rizzi. I'll be your instructor today. I'm originally from Chicago, home of some of the best pizza. And since moving to Texas, I decided to start trying to make my own pizza, and this is how I do it. So the first thing to making a pizza is your dough. You need to have a good pizza dough. You can have pretty much have two types of dough: white bread or wheat bread, wheat dough. I put the ingredients here onto. It's pretty much just yeast, flour, a little bit of sugar, and some salt. You can add other things, if you want some herbs like basil or rosemary or whatever, just into the dough to kind of spice it up or spruce it up a little bit.
Sounds good. That sounds yummy.
So the first thing is
How much dough does this make?
it'll make about 3 cups of flour makes about 2 large pizzas or 4 smaller individual pizzas.
Is this going to be a thin crust or a thick crust?
Thin crust. I like my favorite kind of crust, or my favorite kind of pizza is a thin and crispy. So it's kind of
Very crispy.
thin and crispy.
Okay.
So the first ingredient is yeast, which they have some pizza crust yeast. I've never really used this. I don't know how well it works, but you're welcome to try it sometime. Or just an active dry yeast is all you need. Just proof it with a cup of warm water, not too hot, and a teaspoon of sugar. And then you let it sit for about 10 minutes. I've already pre-proofed some so that we didn't have to wait too long.
Did you say tablespoon or teaspoon of sugar?
Well, a teaspoon of sugar for the yeast.
Oh.
The dough will take it like a tablespoon.
Oh.
When you're adding your dry ingredients. Next, there's you can either to mix all the ingredients together. We get the other ingredients. We got flour. There's whole wheat or just regular all-purpose flour or bread flour is good. You can use we got a whole wheat flour here that you can use, and sugar and salt. Sugar, salt, and a little olive oil.
That looks like a lot of olive oil.
That is a lot of olive oil. We're not going to use all of it, just 2 tablespoons. But there's several ways, or there's a couple different ways to mix up your dough. You can either mix it all up by hand, which is pretty messy. You can use a food processor, which is a little bit harder, or you can use a mixer, which is what we have here. And that's probably the easiest way. And they usually all come with a nice bread hook. You just put on and. So first we'll start by adding a cup of flour. We'll add our dry ingredients. So we'll start off with a cup of flour. Cup of flour.
So Tony, are you making the wheat or the white?
We're going to make the white. I've pre-made dough for us today so that we didn't have to wait because you let it rise for 45 minutes and then let it sit for another 2 hours after kneading it. So we pre-made some dough. So this is just going to be a demonstration one. So we're just going to make one for today.
So the pizza tomorrow too?
Right. So we won't need the wheat. But even if you were doing the wheat, you'd start off the same way. Just a cup of white flour, and then a tablespoon of sugar. What's it? A tablespoon of sugar,
Sounds like Emma wants to make pizza too.
She likes pizza. Then a tablespoon or a teaspoon and a half of salt.
Salt? Yeah, just a little bit of salt.
And then what I like to do is add my oil into the water. Your proof yeast. So two tablespoons. Put this on and get it, drop that in and get it going. I'll slowly add the water and yeast.
You're adding the yeast in there?
Yeah, it's already in there. It was in the water.
Right, the yeast and this was the yeast and water.
Wow.
So how long do you let it mix for?
Well, until it's all, you
You know when it's
a
done,
solid
right?
bowl, right, so you have a solid ball of dough, which I'll show you here in a minute. There's no specified amount of time that you need to let it go. So now that it's just going, we've got it together, and add your second cup of flour. And you just want to slowly add that in, like half a cup at a time. And periodically we want to stop it and just kind of scrape down the sides of the bowl to keep scrape down the sides of the bowl, just kind of help mix it up and make sure everything gets mixed in.
You think, Ella?
If you guys want to come and see what the dough's looking like,
You want to see something?
grab the camera and show it. Yeah. So you want to go at a medium to slow speed to start, and keep it going. You can see that it's pretty sticky right now, so I'm going to add the second half of that second cup. And let it keep working. So after you've added all the flour and it's been going around, and no more dough has been sticking to the sides of your bowl, you're ready to just keep it mixing for, you don't need to add any more flour. You just let it mix for another 10 to 15 more minutes. Just to kind of help keep that yeast active and warmed up. And then while that's doing that, we'll get the bowl ready. Because after we're done mixing it, we'll transfer it to a bowl and let it rest. So in a glass bowl, preferably, or you can use plastic, but just spray it with a vegetable spray or an olive oil cooking spray so that it doesn't stick. And this dough is just about done. Take it off of the hook.
So it should be looks more like a ball, like it looks ready, not sticky, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty sticky. You might want to even pre-flour your hands or spray your hands with the cooking spray so that it doesn't get so sticky. Just ball it up, put it in your bowl, and then cover that bowl with a towel, a tea towel, some saran wrap.
Do you want the towel to be warm and wet?
It doesn't need to be. And then you're just gonna put this bowl in like a warm place. You could heat up your oven to
Oh,
like
okay.
200 and then turn it off and let the bowl sit there. But for now we'll just set it off to the side. So after you've let your dough rest and rise and everything else, after a couple hours it'll look like this. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take it and you're gonna wanna sprinkle some flour into a nice clean area. And you're going to knead your dough a little bit. You just kind of pick up some of the flour. You're just kind of getting out some of the air bubbles out of the dough so that it doesn't rise too much while you're baking.
I like how air bubbles.
You don't need it too much, and then you're just going to make it like a nice disc. Make a nice circular disc. And if your dough's pretty sticky or anything, you can always add more flour. Let me know if you need any more. And then with the rolling pin, you're just gonna start in the middle and roll out. Just roll in a nice circle. Try to get it in a nice circle shape. And while I do this, I've got a video of another way to make your dough a nice circle. I'm sure you've seen in the pizza shops people throwing it around. If you want to watch that,
You're not gonna throw it around?
no, I'm not going to. I've tried. I just ripped through the dough.
Oh,
I knew it was there.
we got our teacher.
Take any jewelry off if you can. Then you're going to go ahead and add some flour on your dough ball. Press it up with your hands. And you can flip it over if you like.
How come mine's not already?
And if you have to, you grab a rolling pin. And you can roll out your dough to about a 10-inch circle. And now you're ready to do your toss.
Looks like a young Scott.
Pick up your dough, slap it on. You're going to position your hands like this.
Ooh,
Now, this is probably the most important part of tossing a pizza. If you're a righty, you toss with your right palm. If you're a lefty, you toss with your left palm. Now, let me show you this first part. If you're a righty, your right palm like this, and your other hand in a fist. So basically, like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this out. I'm going to toss it up in the air like that. And everything's done with my right palm. Everything's done like this. Just to show you, I'm like this. And I'm pushing it up like that. And I'm catching it with my fist. My palm is closed like this. It's not like this. So my fingers underneath. So bring it in, toss it up, catch
after you've rolled out your dough to your desired thickness and size, you're ready for the fun part of choosing your toppings. There's many different toppings you can choose. One of my favorite pizzas happens to be a taco pizza, which I'm going to be making tonight. I've set up I've got a lot of different choices here, so get as creative as you want with any of the toppings that you want. And after that, we'll bake it in the oven. I'm using a pizza stone, and it's been preheated to 500 for about a half hour just to heat that stone up so that you get that nice crispy crust that you like, or that I like. Hopefully you like it too. And then we'll sit down, eat, and enjoy some pizza. Adding the sauce. Now that we've got all our toppings together, we're ready to start baking them in the pizza or in the oven on our brick oven. But we have parchment paper underneath each of the pizzas. It helps to transfer from your work area to the oven without it sticking to your fingers and also falling through the oven racks. So,
Tony, what kind of pizza did you make?
I have a taco pizza going. We have taco sauce with taco meat and then just regular mozzarella cheese. And at the end, or after it's done baking, we'll add more toppings, lettuce, chips, and more cheese. We've got the first one we'll start with is looks like a creation of Canadian bacon, pineapple, some red onion, looks like dried cranberries, and some pineapple. Let's put this one in the oven first. Place that right on our oven. And halfway through cooking, in about 10 minutes, we'll want to pull that parchment paper out and let it finish cooking the rest of the way. And then we'll start adding we'll cook them one by one, and everybody can eat and try each one. This one is a white pizza with Alfredo sauce, chicken or grilled chicken, artichoke hearts, a little bit of bacon, and some spinach, all with mozzarella cheese also. And over here we have a BLT pizza, and this one has just your regular tomato sauce, bacon, a little bit of ham, and some cheese, and at the end we'll add some more lettuce and tomatoes. So, hopefully here's some of the final products. The taco pizza, part of the Eden white pizza, and the BLT, and the pineapple and ham. And that's how you make pizza.